Welcome back, Trashies, to Trash Monsters. We're your hosts, Julia.
And Brandon.
And we're doing a part 2 of a 5-minute haul that I did earlier today. And we decided to go back to the big store that is going out of business and do more diving into their dumpster. He jumped into the dumpster and there's
lots in there.
There was a lot of stuff in there. Not as much stuff that we thought was going to be more valuable, but there's some controversial stuff that we picked up, and we're going to explain that in a little bit. We ended up stopping at a game store behind their dumpster. I had gone there earlier, didn't find anything, and I was like, oh, let's go there soon. It's a game store going out of business. Well, some of them, I guess. He doesn't want to talk about it. It's a touchy subject for him. It's a game store that is closing some of its stores, so
I don't think there's more than one game store. Well, I mean, I guess there's like mom and pop game stores.
There's mom and pop game stores. There's only one. Which are the best?
Game store.
Well.
Remember that. There's only one.
Well, we see how that turned out.
You sure we got or what?
So anyway, we went to the game store that is wildly popular and closing down. Still don't know if we're allowed to say names on here yet, so we'll do some more research. We're starting to get our little setup here. It's getting better and better from each video. Earlier today, when in part 1 video, I had found a toaster, which I thought was the ugliest color. I was like, as a toaster, this is like, I would never want this color. However, we did find out that it was not working, but it works as a planter. I'm very excited about this because I needed to plant my succulents that the kids picked out at the a plant store. And so I was like, oh, I got some stuff I could shove in here. So I shoved some dirt in here and I found, and I put the succulents in and I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. This succulent, which I don't know the name of, matches this
They have names?
Toaster. I would assume so. I do really well with like arid plants. So like succulents and cactus and aloe. We have so much aloe.
We do have a lot of aloe.
We do have a lot of aloe. And this kind of works because on the side of our YouTube videos and our dumpster diving, we're starting up our own little planter mom and pop shop. So stay tuned for that reveal where we laser print planters and propagating stations and things like that. So when that store launches, we'll keep you updated. As for now, I guess I'm going to start turning things that do not work into little planters. So we'll put that little guy here for now because he looks cute. Okay, so Brandon here is going to reveal the first item that we found at the game store. Trash bin.
The first item.
You can take the whole thing.
That we found.
Just put it up on top here.
I am, but like, we're stuck together. Well,
it's fine.
The first item I found.
We're married, clearly.
Holographic Charmeleon. I mean, this thing is mint. Yes.
So, which one is this?
That's Charmeleon. Okay. And the second one we found, okay, is Charmander. And it's probably the best holographic picture I've ever seen.
It's holographic.
I like how he's all happy.
And he is cute. It is cute. I don't know anything about Pokemon. I used to watch Pokemon with my cousin a little bit when we were younger. She was like super into it. I know this was one of her favorites, but I never could get into it. I like Charmander. Is that what this is?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so cute. And you looked up the worth. Was it this one or both of them?
They're both about $4. I think they're like relatively. I think it's some kind of promotion pack. So there's a lot of them.
Isn't there supposed to be like 3? Like 3 levels?
So the Charizard is missing, and that's always the most popular.
Oh, so this guy like bought this pack for the Charizard.
Apparently,
probably, right?
Did not care about those at all.
anyway, so you found these Pokemon. What are you gonna do with these?
Well, I think probably just give them to the kids.
Yeah.
They enjoy playing with. They already have a couple they run around with, so a couple more for the collection.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely want to go back there. I think that would be a fun dumpster. Like, it's gonna be fun. Like,
yeah, there's so many different things at that store.
We should keep like a book of like cards that we find just at and we should just call it like dumpster cards. And it could be like a game that we pick up.
We'll just pass it down generations, generational.
Right. And you know how they have like, I guess Pokemon's a game you can play, but the Magic the Gathering and things like that. Maybe we'll like just
baseball cards.
Baseball cards. We'll just make a gathering of all the cards in like a book, and then we'll create our own game. So it'll be like Poke, Magic, baseball.
Yes.
Wizard, something.
You're on to something incredible here.
It's incredible. I'm patenting it. So.
Oh, when I said that in the other episode, give me a look.
Because sometimes some of the things you say. All right, so I guess I'll put this over. We'll put that over there. Okay, on to the next thing. So this next segment here is going to be a little controversial. I know some people will agree with it. Some people will absolutely turn their nose up to it, but this is the content that we're creating, and I hope you enjoy. He's not so excited for it. I'm pretty excited for it. So let's get into the least, I guess, lesser controversial part of it. So we went through the big dumpster of lots that is going out of business. And they had a bunch of stuff in there in bags and in cardboard boxes and stuff. And one of the things was these Flintstone gummies. Now, I'm not really one to give my kids these kind of, these aren't gummies, they're like the chalk ones, right? So I'm not really one to give my kids these gummies. I'm very particular in the things that I give to the kids. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in there. I would not particularly give them to my kids.
It's definitely better than nothing.
However, if you are a doomsday prepper, stockpiler, or whatever you are, this would be perfect. Like if Armageddon or like an EMP goes off and you have this in your stockpile for your kids, like it's better than nothing, right? Like we're in like a radiation like warnings. You got at least
you got
vitamins because
your vitamin C.
Well, if the sun can't get through, at least you got some vitamins.
It's true. I think the sun gives you vitamin D.
Now I see why they threw them out because they expired in October of 2024. However, like I said, like if you are in like dire need or like an emergency situation, this could be like a decent thing. So we picked it up. Not that we're doomsday preppers, but we might just set that aside because things are a little wonky right now. Let's see what's next. All right. Also, I'm going to put the video that we took today going to the dumpsters in this. I'm not going to make a smaller video because I think it might fit better with we're not going to have this video be too long, so might as well put that in there. The video of us doing he jumped in the dumpster today, so that was fun for you. You really went in there. He hopped in there.
So it's easier to get the things when you're in there.
And here, you got these ones.
Oh yeah, you can
put them on.
We got Quick Shield Immune Boost Energy. Apparently they were on sale for $2 at some point each. We have 7 here. And yeah, I never heard of this thing, but they're sealed and everything. See the date on these bad boys.
I think they're expired. Yeah, July.
Wow, they kept these things for a long time. There's actually elderberry juice in here. It's interesting.
Sugar-free.
It's got water flavors, sugar in it.
There's sodium benzonate.
There's nothing in here that's going to expire.
Salt. What is salt? See? And it doesn't really smell too much like a trash can, so that's good. What is that sound?
I don't know, but I had to go check on the children because.
What the fuck is that? Okay. All right, we're back. We had to take a brief intermission because we heard some gremlin noises coming from the other room, and we wanted to make sure it wasn't our children. It was just our dog. The same fat one we were talking about earlier was rolling around on the ground. But because it expels so much energy, he was making sounds while he was doing it. So we let him go lay in our bedroom for a little bit and calm himself. Anyway.
Yep.
So you got this.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened to it in the commotion.
It's right here.
Oh, I left it?
Yes. And somehow you put the lid back on it, or I
didn't.
had already put the lid back on it.
Oh. I thought I threw it when I was running.
Yeah, because there were 7 and there's still 7. So this is it.
Perfect.
Yep, so the immune booster plus energy. More vitamins.
But would you drink this one? Is this something you'll drink? Or are we gonna hand this one out?
Now, I don't think I'm gonna drink that one because it smells weird. I just think
That's not fun.
I think it's just the flavor of whatever this is.
Yeah, probably shouldn't give this to anyone, huh?
No.
So our plan is that if we find stuff that's in decent shape, obviously this is expired. I don't think you can really donate anything that's expired if I remember correctly. You know.
Well, we saw online people had food pantries.
Yeah, some people have food pantries.
So
some people build food pantries and put them outside their house. They'll dumpster dive and then they'll put like the food they find that's in decent condition in like they call it a blessing box or a Goodwill box or something. So people who might need it can go and take food out of it. So I don't know, maybe we'll think about doing that.
Yeah.
And the church is right down the road in front of our.
We could probably
house,
I could probably build it and get the church to put it up.
By their house, by their church, right?
At the church, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk to the church. We live in a community that has a church as soon as you come in.
I think.
The other thing too is we have a lot of homeless people that live in our area, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like we pass by them daily when you're on your way to work, when we're on our way to our activities and stuff, and if we find stuff that might be like beneficial,
useful.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep it in our cars,
Yeah,
and
clothes,
they come,
snacks.
Yeah, they come panhandling, and I know we don't really have money to give away, but if we have snacks or something that is not covered in anything, like if it's decent,
and not energy booster shots,
not expired energy shots. But so we went to a food store. We went to Aldi a couple days ago, looking through their dumpsters because on the dumpster diving thread that we read, they were like, "Oh, Aldi has a lot of food. Like they throw away a lot of produce and stuff like that." I was like, "We gotta go check it out." We checked it out, and sure enough, the whole dumpster was full of produce.
Crazy amounts.
Amounts.
Like
the whole
30
dumpster.
bushels of bananas.
30 bushels of
and
bananas.
They were still green and yellow.
Yeah,
what?
Tomatoes, like everything. Like, I mean, I'm not at the point right now where I think I'm ready to try produce out of the dumpster.
No, but
it's something that you could use. Like, say, if you're a farmer, I want to actually message some farmers maybe to see if they would take any like produce. We're gonna pick some up for our compost, our chickens. Mm-hmm. It's good enough for your livestock if you have, if you're not willing to eat produce. I know some people do eat produce out of the dumpster, and honestly, you might turn your nose up to it. But if you really think about it, if you're really in need, it's a decent way to get food that has some, fresh produce or something like that. I know it's not
ideal. It's definitely a certain part of the year too. Like it's colder out right now, so it's definitely a time it's possible to do.
Obviously, they're not eating hairy. You're not going to eat hairy, moldy fruits and vegetables out of the garbage can. I know Aldi will sometimes throw away whole cartons of eggs if one is broken. So you're telling me a whole carton of eggs are bad because one's broken?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but 11 other chickens went through the pain of laying an egg, and you're just going to throw it away? Like, maybe we'll get to that point where we can... we live
but we still have uses for them, so.
Yeah. I mean, you could use the shells for calcium for the chickens. You crush up the shell. There's a lot you can do with tossed away produce, especially in the amounts that certain grocery stores throw out. It's ridiculous. Like it's not even like haha. Like I'd never eat out of a dumpster produce. Like it's like there's so much produce. Like you could literally have so many uses for it and not just eating it.
Yeah.
So on to the next thing. You want to talk about these ones?
The next thing we also found was these Z bars, which I've had these before, and these are pretty good. And these were, they were on sale for 49 cents a piece before they got rid of them. November 2024. Now,
Yeah,
this
so they're
is something
expired.
I would probably eat because I don't think these things go bad. I've definitely eaten these expired before.
Do you think you'll eat these?
Yeah.
You'll eat these? Now, I did. I used my handy. I'm not sponsored by anyone. Obviously, I'd love to be sponsored by someone one day. However, I will say that I did use my handy dandy Clorox wipes to wipe some of the stuff down. And the next thing I'm going to show you, I did wash. If I can wash it with soap and water, or if I can throw it in a washer and dryer and wash it that way,
And again,
it's getting washed.
It's not like the stuff is like you're not like pulling it out of the toilet. Like it's in a bag.
Yeah.
It's in a box.
And 90% of the time, it's probably been there only for a couple hours. Or it's, as long as you're not getting it at like the back end underneath something, it's probably not been there for very long.
Yeah.
Some people will take milk and
Yeah,
yogurt out online and
they
you're
claim
just so
they were going to
brave.
make cheese and yogurt and stuff with the milk, and I'm just like, that's really taking a step.
That's a chance. But on to the next thing. So we found this. And we found this. So we found two of these in perfect condition. There was nothing wrong with them, right? There's no leakage. We've had them. Well, hopefully that's not leakage.
No, it's not.
Ooh. Is it leakage? This one is leaking. So this one is leaking. It's a good thing I squished it.
Is this one leaking?
I hope not. This is my favorite one. No. I don't think so.
I think you're just over squeezing it.
Oh, this one might not be leaking. It might be because I washed it earlier and water got in between here.
Yeah.
But are you scared?
Man.
Yeah. It was.
I feel like if you had to get a squirter out of there, squeezing it like that.
Alright, so we're not really sure if this one's leaking. Like I said, I had washed this earlier with soap and water, and these little, lips here, I think they did have some water in it. I thought maybe it would have drained out by now, but that could be what's... See, now there's nothing coming out because I squished these. So this one might still be okay. This one definitely is not leaking, and I think, like I said, the water drained out of the sides already that I had washed. So, we're not gonna probably use this one for now. But I'm telling you, we're gonna try this one today. He's very reluctant to try this one.
Come on, rip it out.
Well, you wanna do it now or you wanna wait until the next thing?
Okay.
You wanna try it now? Okay, so because we're not sure about this one, we're gonna put it to the side. We're gonna let that dry for a while and then we'll shake it up tomorrow. Maybe we'll do an update. This one is fine. And we're contemplating probably gonna drink that.
Date on this bad boy.
Oh, and the date on this is only May. I think it's May. No, April 2025. That other one was May.
Oh, April 2025? This isn't expired yet.
It's not expired. And there was a couple in there. There was actually more, but I don't know why you didn't grab them.
They're kind of big and heavy. I didn't know why they were in there.
Yeah, but there was a lot. There was like 5 at least, right?
Yeah.
4 or 5. And we only took 2 with the time we had. And then the next thing...
I bet you they come in a case and they one exploded or something.
I have no ideas what these are.
These are Mavericks.
I've never heard of it before.
The Bolt Cookies, double chocolate.
These ones are not really. They're not even. I didn't check every date, but they're hardly expired. I think they expired this month. Right? Yeah. They expire in January.
Yeah, 25.
Right? So they haven't expired yet, technically. And they threw all of them out. There's nothing wrong with them. They weren't nothing the boxes were all sealed, right? Now they could have been sitting on the shelves for quite a long time and they were like, well, no one's gonna buy them, might as well just toss them now. I'm nervous about eating these, but the other thing I should also mention is that I have contamination OCD, and this is like I don't understand why I'm fine with going inside the dumpster. My hands do feel gross, like after touching everything. And even though like I cleaned it, my hands still feel kind of like weird. But I don't know. My therapist, I sent him my video, so maybe this is like something that therapists can study. Like, why can this person dive into a dumpster but can't, you know, stop washing their hands?
You're gonna be a science experiment. These are actually good.
Well, I think they're very good.
Pretty crazy.
So obviously,
I'm gonna get these out at work.
they're actually really good. Oh,
I got 40,000 of them.
so they're actually pretty good. They expire this month, and this is something we're gonna hand out to some of the homeless, you know, on our ways to work and things like that.
I was talking about my coworkers.
He's gonna hand them out to his coworkers.
Yeah,
Apparently.
But
It's actually pretty decently good. Not gonna give any to our children. I don't need any backlash from that. But we tried something from a dumpster. That's great. And now,
I wouldn't call it great.
I mean,
It did taste good.
but think about it. Like,
But
all
like,
this stuff
this is
could've
my point to
Yeah.
her is like I feel more comfortable because it's in a box and a bag, and in the dumpster it was in a bag. So like,
and there's no nibble
It's
marks.
fine.
There's like no there's no there's no indication that a mouse or any kind of critter got into it. So, the thing is that makes me angry though is, okay, these weren't selling for however long they had them. They tossed them before the date really was to.
well, this is a store that's closing, right?
It is a store that is closing. However, like, why couldn't these just go to a homeless shelter? Why couldn't they go to a domestic violence shelter? How come, someone couldn't? See, that's the thing. Is like all this stuff is just going to end up in a waste bin when there are people in other parts of the country, in our state, in our county, in other countries that are starving because they can't get access to food. Yet there's perfectly decent food being thrown into the trash can
Every day.
every day. And if I knew exactly when they were throwing stuff out, and I could wait there and grab this stuff like as soon.
Oh yeah, I know
Right?
people do that for bagels and stuff.
Yeah, like people will do
They
that
do-
for
'cause
bagels and bread.
In the store, they get all the bagels, they throw them in a brand new clean trash bag because they have so many bagels. They're filling a bunch of trash bags, and they throw them in a dumpster. And then you could just go and get the whole bag of bagels. So I know people do that to feed deer and try to get deer and stuff, and their pigs and stuff.
Yeah, I know people who go in restaurants and they say that the company that they work for literally tells them you have to throw day-old bread away because I guess it's I don't really exactly know the reason. Maybe a health code violation or it's not fresh, right? So and Wawa too has to. Wawa has to throw. I think they might have changed it recently, but I saw that Wawa has to throw away like their sandwiches and their breads and stuff
That's why.
because they don't want to get a lawsuit. They don't want to get sued.
Probably why their food tastes so bad now.
The schools too. I know like lunch ladies, they're not allowed to take food home. At least in this area, they're not allowed to take food home with them because of a lawsuit. Like they don't want, if someone got sick from the food, they don't want to get sued. That's the thing that sucks is that
That's where we're at now. It's like, I know people are saying because you get sued and stuff, but like, that's where America is. It's all greed, and no helping brother or sister out. Just agreed.
Yeah, and it really, I don't know, it's a shame, and realistically, like, we're not hurting to the point where we need to eat these. You know what I mean? And in a situation where, if we, God forbid, we're in a situation where that's what we had to do, at least we know that, okay, there is an option to find, you know, food that is not completely wasted. You know what I mean? Anyway, he's nervous about trying to drink. What is your explanation for that?
Oh, so like I said, this is like double bagged. Like this is like only one thing separating it from the air. This has two separations. I mean, even though it's just cardboard.
Okay, well, there's a label, and then there's
a label doesn't cover the whole bottle.
Okay, well, there's a label, and then there's a bottle. You said 2 layers, so that's 2 layers technically. And this one's not leaking. I don't think the other one's leaking either. I'll get an update on that later on.
I don't think it's leaking because it wasn't leaking before.
And it opened and there was a pop, so that means it was sealed. That means there was no punctures.
You should have got that for the camera. So you got to close it.
I heard it. Well, look at that. Crack. It smells just like raspberry tea, which this is my favorite tea. So I was honestly fine with it. But this is also the guy who will eat lunch with his hands that are probably covered in nasty...
Yeah, I mean, I'll also drop a cookie on the ground and eat it, no problem.
He works in a construction field, and I'm sure he has greasy pipe poop hands.
Poop?
Yeah.
I don't play with poop. I don't play with poop.
Well...
There's no poop in my job field.
Well, we got cheers. Anyway, here's to hopefully a successful channel and finding more trash to treasures, and hopefully being able to make a difference in our lives and everyone else's lives. Cheers.
Cheers.
To trash monsters.
Trash monsters.
See you next video.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
I like that flavor.
Yeah, trash flavor.